name's Jacci Gresham, and I work in New Orleans. And how I got started was trying to get better tattoos for women, really. The tattoos weren't feminine enough for me, you know. It was just more of a masculine tattoo being put on women at that time. Well, on Sue, who I worked on the longest, we're talking maybe 10 years on her, I see an incredible change, okay? And so when you interview her, you'll see that change from when I started. Of course, Sue met me when I first started tattooing, and at that time, I didn't have a lot of tattoos, and so I didn't know. I started collecting work from a lot of famous artists, which helped me to kind of get the style that I have now. And on Laura, I've been knowing Laura about a year, and I feel that I've worked on her about 3 different sessions, and one of the sessions was a month long, I might add. And the fact that a woman's doing it helps a lot, because women are generally looking for women to tattoo them, because they're tattooing in more intimate spots, and they don't need the hassle of a lot of the ideas that men have. I really enjoy doing custom work a lot better than I do things off the wall. Matter of fact, I don't do things off the wall. It's too boring.
Hi, my name is Susan Hman. I'm originally from Louisiana. I live in California now. Jacci Gresham has done almost entirely all of my work for the last at least 10 years, I do believe.
Sue wanted to be a tattooed lady, and my business partner didn't believe that women should have tattoos, so that's how I kind of got started in this. Actually, I took the cart before the horse. I did her back for PM magazine, and I think we did that about 84.
84. Because we won the convention with it.
Yeah, we did that about 84. And that was originally a back piece, but since I had did her back for PM magazine, this is probably my favorite.
I'm Laura. I'm from Detroit. I met Jacci at 86 convention, my first convention, and I only had some tattoos on my arms at the time. I met her and she did a continuation of something I'd already had done in Detroit, and she seemed like she wanted to do the rest of me. I brought up the idea. She said, yeah, we'll give it a try. And then between July and this month, we've covered a large percentage of my torso, back, my chest, my neck, head, most of my right leg, stomach, my rear. And I usually know what I want. A friend of mine in Canada draws my designs sometimes, and so usually when I come to see Jacci, I know what I want, I have it all drawn up, or I have an intricate idea already woven in my head, and she's really good at doing what I want. This portrait I have of Malcolm X is a drawing done by a man named Ramses II from Los Angeles.
And a wonderful person, and by golly, she really is the world's #1 tattoo fan. Could you tell us your name and where you're from?
About me or somebody else?
You know darn well who I'm talking about.
My name is Elizabeth Weinzirl.
And where are you from, Elizabeth?
Gresham, Oregon. In case you don't know where Gresham is, it's near Portland.
And we can tell that you're not new to this at all, are you?
No.
How long have you been in the tattoo world? When did you get your first tattoo?
About 1947, when it wasn't the thing to do.
And why? What made you get a tattoo?
Well, my husband wanted a tattooed wife, and I loved him, and he was very special, and it was no problem to me. Heck, what's a tattoo? I thought the one was satisfying. He had a tattooed wife.
It didn't satisfy you?
Well, a couple of years later, we were in Seattle walking down First Avenue, and there were a lot of tattoo shops in pool halls and bars and dirty-looking places. We just eyed them, went in, and we walked out. Then we went down further, and there was an arcade there, big place. And in the center of the arcade was a booth protected with chicken wire, and a clean-looking gentleman in there, and everything was clean. So I had my second tattoo was by Frank Martin. Frank Martin did 3 pieces. Max Spells did the first one. The rest is all done by Burt Grimm. The bird some trimming on it. So then he put the other design around it. And I rejected the yellow, and Don Nolan did it. It's a different color. It was a little stronger. So Don Nolan put the new yellow in.
And what do you think? We've had a lot of people's impressions from the artist side of view of the Renaissance and the changes. You've gotten it from the collector's point of view. What do you think of what's happened in the last few years in the art?
Well, I think when I was getting them, it was primarily something here, something there, just blotches.
Right.
And now it's planned. And Bert did a good job of pulling mine together and making it look better than it would have been.
Okay, could you tell us a little bit about the Elizabeth Weinzirl Award?
I won it 3 years in a succession. I felt guilty about it, but I had nothing to do with who voted for me.
Right.
But somebody in the organization thought it should be stopped. I shouldn't get it all the time. And I agree. But they thought maybe they would win it, but they didn't win it that year. They won it the next year.
So
I like it much better that way. I shouldn't have it. And so they called it the Elizabeth Weinzirl Fan of the Year Award before it was just the Fan of the Year. So everybody knows it's my award. It's named after me.
I don't know what I'd do without my tattooed family. So that's what you are. And it surprises me how much larger it's getting each year. Hasn't this been a great convention? I think so too. I don't know how they can keep it getting better and better every year.
My name is Lyall T. I'm from San Francisco, California.
And Lyle, how long have you been in the tattoo business?
Almost too long to talk about, but anyhow, I got interested in it like in 1947, and that's getting my first tattoo. And then became interested and got tattooed. And in 1949, I got a hold of my first equipment, and been with it ever since.
We would like to find out a little bit about your tattoo museum that you have in San Francisco.
It was opened in 1974. It's a lifelong collection, or a professional life collection that I've made of tattooing artifacts, memorabilia. There's even some, I have a few pieces of human skin also, that came down through the years.
Did you get from Japan?
No, the pieces I have, one came from the United States, the other came from Europe. One was a military design with 4 flags and a shield on it, and came through an antique dealer in Washington, D.C. I don't know the history about it or anything else, but very interesting.
Very interesting. Also, you're also involved in the art crowd and the art scene a little bit in the San Francisco area and the California area. And how do they react to the fact that you're a tattoo artist, and how do they react to the medium that you chose to work in?
Well, I don't know. I think probably most of them are jealous of my medium, because I got, the greatest canvases in the world. It talks back, it's warm, it's soft, and I tattoo mostly women, so it smells nice. And my tattoos are sort of like, grew on me. They're just, well, I guess the best way to explain my tattoos is the way the Japanese look at them, is, and I've been told this like maybe a dozen times by Japanese men that are tattooed all over that I got tattooed for memories, and they get tattooed for stories. So they like a particular story, and they go to an artist and they pick it out, and then they have that put on them. So they buy this suit. But my tattoos, it's like my memory album, my photo album. I got tattooed here. They're sort of like travel marks or something. So as the Polynesian work that I have on me is from my waist to my knees, and I had wound up being covered with a traditional back piece in traditional Western tattooing. So in European style tattooing, that's almost like I call it the tire patch look. You get one design on the upper arm, and then you'll match it with the other side, and you worry about filling in the middle, and but it looks well balanced when it's done, because if you paint a basketball all over, say, it's going to look balanced, with a proper density of coverage. So I was covered, except it was like bare from the waist to the knees, and I didn't want to take and just go ahead and get covered conventionally, which would have almost meant a sailing ship on the front of the legs and a Jesus Christ head on the front of the other one, and fill the sides in again, sort of on this European Western motif. And then I discovered Polynesian tattooing, which is all black and it's geometric designs, and it really sort of made sense to me. I mean, it was like a tribal thing, I mean, it's in Samoa, everybody gets the same design. It's like an old Samoan custom if you ask somebody why they get the design. And it's just sort of like giving you a place in the community. When I go to Samoa or any, I won't say primitive, but say pre-Christian culture. We can get on to Christianity in just a minute, but they know that I belong to something, and that is on their same wavelength. So it's just like an automatic brotherhood, which there is a camaraderie with tattooed people. Tattooing dates back to the time that when religions and cultures was developed, and when man became gregarious. It dates back thousands and thousands of years. I mean, people think that drunken sailors and fallen women developed it, and it was developed 100 years ago.
Would you go so far as to say tattooing is possibly the original art form?
I warmly call it the mother art, because you tattoo a lot of mothers. Then a lot of people get mother tattooed on them, so it's the mother art, but it's, I would say was in there, because early implements of the most primitive man using tools have marks on them. And if he was marking his tools, I'm sure he was marking himself. And the discovery of tattooing would have been very simple, because it would have been from a wound, an injury, a scar.
Somebody poking himself with a charged stick end and leaving a black mark there when it healed.
How many people have shown you that I stuck a lead pencil in the palm of my hand going to school in your life?
Yeah, there's been a few of them.
See, so that right there was, an invention. I mean, so that happened with primitive man. Probably the first tattoo shop was maybe an exposed coal slick, and they just get drunk and run and jump in the pit.